Okay. You know what, guys? I got something to say. So, I'm here working on my kayak, one of my projects. You can see the plastics all nice and shiny. That's because I'm smoothing it down, because this kayak has a lot of scrapes and abrasions, and you can see spots where I've hit it with the heat gun and where I haven't. I'm back here where, you can definitely tell. It's seen some action, but it's definitely not as bad as it was. So, okay, here's what I wanted to talk about, right? So, this never, ever, 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 ever would have happened if I was still with somebody I was with. And the reason for that is because when I mentioned kayaking, I was told, that's dumb. Why would you want to do that? That's expensive. That's too much money. Meanwhile, he was dumping thousands of dollars into his own hobby without a second thought. But if you do that, then I'll be alone, and well, don't you want to spend time with me, and don't you care about me, and don't you love me? That what do you want to get away from me? What do you want? Well, okay. So here's the deal, right? If you are with somebody, or you are a good friend to somebody, and they trust you with something that brings them joy, don't be a jerk. Seriously, you don't gotta be like that. If you're cool about it, okay, awesome, good. I am not talking to you right now, because the people who need to hear this are the ones who degrade and shoot down the person who has trusted them with their hobby. So here's the deal, is different people have different things that bring them joy in life. Different people are very passionate about different things in their lives. And for me, kayaking is one of those things. But the person I was with disparaged it like none other. Why? Because it was perceived as a threat. Why? Because it brought me joy. And anything that he couldn't control that brought me joy, he saw as a threat. So he shot me down, and he made me feel like the world's worst significant other for having this desire to leave him behind and, not want him with me. Well, really that's on him, because he didn't want to go with me. And really it was because it was my passion, it was my hobby, it was something that I loved and I wanted to do. So here's the thing, is if somebody you care about's got a hobby, and that hobby isn't hurting anybody, isn't hurting them, then why disparage it? If it's something that brings them joy, why not encourage it? If it's dangerous, then make sure they're outfitted properly. Make sure they've got all the right safety gear and training so that they can come back at the end of the day. Don't tell them not to do it. When you reject that hobby, that passion, whatever it is, you reject a part of them. And I can't tell you how absolutely damaging that can be to the sense of self, the sense of confidence in something that you really enjoy. For me, obviously, it's kayaks. So the top one up there, that is a Wilderness Systems Tsunami 135. That one I picked up for my daughter for the next time that I get to see her, if I get to see her here. And the one behind it up there is a Perception Shadow, 16 and a half, just in case she's a bit bigger by the time I get to see her again. The one over there is a Perception Carolina 16. This kayak, and put my keys down so I don't jingle everywhere. This kayak is of a much broader beam. I believe we're at a 26-inch beam on this one compared to a 22.5 on this one, and a couple of the others, including this one down here, which is a 2006 Perception Eclipse. It is for sale. It's just a little bit too big for me in the cockpit. I kind of swim around a little bit, no pun intended. And, you know, there's just a couple of the things I don't entirely completely love about this kayak, just for my body type. So it is for sale. I've done quite a bit of work on it, fixed it up. I've got this Necky Zor Sport. This one I've done quite a bit of work on. It's got all new deck lines, brand new reflective perimeter line. It's got a little bit of oil canning in the back there. Sorry for my camera placement. You can see it right along the side, right down there. Working on getting that pulled out. And the rudder needs to be straightened. But other than that, there's going to be some tape going on, reflective tape, to replace the black stuff that was cracked and peeling that I pulled off of here. This one's definitely been around the block a few times, but I think I can find it a good home. This is a 2003 Perception Eclipse, same as that one down there, but this one I picked up to restore and get it a good home. You can see it's definitely been through it. It's got some pretty good scarring going on here. Wasn't able to get all the dirt and grime out, but I picked this thing up and it was so incredibly filthy that I actually had to take it to the manual car wash on top of my Jeep and spray it down and scrub it, and then bring it home and then scrub it some more, and then get a scrubby attachment for my drill and scrub it some more. And I still don't have all the dirt and grime out, but it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I was able to pull so much of it out of the back here. There's a lot more that I need to do in terms of a little bit of sanding, a little bit of shaving down, hit it with a heat gun again, get it all smoothed out. But it needs all new deck lines. She's got no deck lines on right now. In terms of bungees, she's got her perimeter line, but no deck lines. Well, I did replace the back, didn't I? Yeah. And I need to get new straps on her, and I need to replace this. This is fun. Then I've got my go-to down here. It's 2003 Perception Eclipse. I love this kayak. It's a lot of fun. I do. This is my kayak I take out if I'm going to go bang around, and this is my brush to get all the rocks off the bottom when I take them out. These are the hatch covers that go on this one. Had to cut those bungees off. They were just disintegrating. The Eclipse she's a great kayak. I love her a lot. But I don't love the seat. So I am actually looking for a Tempest 170 to see if I can't get into a kayak with a little bit better seat. Now, this one is a Cetus P&H. Yep. HV. P&H is actually the brand, and the Cetus is the model. I had a notification come through, derail me a little bit there, but that green one back there, that kayak is an absolute beast, and it is so much freaking fun to paddle. Like, I can't even explain how much of a lifeline kayaking has been for me. It has been a savior to my sanity. And to realize that I was denied that by somebody who couldn't handle me having any sort of enjoyment or joy in my life, and I've seen this with other people too. And it just breaks my heart. And, it makes me want to, shake sense into the people who disparage others when they've got something that they're passionate about, like this. And, no, it's not a matter of money. It's not a matter of time, per se. In some cases, it may be. But when you've got somebody who's disparaging it and saying, oh, that's dumb. Okay, yeah, no. See, there's the door over there. You can go walk out it. Because you don't do that. I don't care if it's knitting. I don't care if it's making electronic music. I don't care if it's having 8 freaking kayaks in your garage. You can see, this is a 1-car garage, and I've got plenty of room. I figured it out. And yeah, sometimes you may run into a space issue. And, sometimes that may require some compromise. Now, for me, this kayak and the Necky, they're both going to go to new homes. These 3 up here, 3 up there, the red one, the yellow one, and the mango, those are all staying. The green one is staying. This one is staying at least until I can find myself a good tempest to get into. I'm going to hate saying goodbye to this one because this was the kind of kayak that I paddled with my mom when she was alive. So there's a lot of nostalgic value there. And I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. But, hopefully I can get that one to a good home. That one back there, that Eclipse. But yeah, just because I've got a lot of kayaks in here right now doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to have them for a long time. Although the Cetus is definitely staying. Even if I have to sell everything else, the Cetus is still staying. But I mean, that's my point is, be flexible. If you're the one with the hobby, definitely be able to be flexible as well. But don't give up on what makes you happy. Because yes, these are things, but I can't tell you how fulfilling it is to take a filthy, beat up old kayak and turn around and fix it and make it pretty again and resell it, give it a new lease on life. And there's just something so rewarding about that. I couldn't explain what it is or what it feels like, but there's just something about it. And taking these out, paddling with them, there's something that really helps me connect with myself, and it centers me. And kayaking actually has been known to be amazing therapy. So it helps, connect the sides of your brain and all this other stuff. But there's something really incredible about it. And the fact that I was denied that by somebody who didn't want to see me happy, wanted me to be dependent on him for my happiness, that's not okay. 'Cause I missed out on so much, and that I will never get back. And it is what it is. But if you have a hobby, a passion that's being disparaged, don't give up on it. You know, as long as it's not hurting you or anybody else, don't give up on it. You know, if it's rock climbing, if it's flying a kite, if it's photography, you know, whatever it might be. Maybe it's something totally niche and unheard of. You know, it could be skateboarding, it could be whatever it might be. You know, don't give up on that. Pursue your dreams, pursue your passion. You know, you never know. You might end up with a garage full of kayaks like me, but you know, that's not a bad thing. And I recognize absolutely how lucky I am, how blessed I am to be able to have a garage that looks like this. I have absolutely worked my tail off for it. And, you know, I'm happy as a clam. Aside from the seat in this thing, I'm happy as a clam. And it's a darn sight better than being with somebody who, oh, you want to do that? That's dumb. That's expensive. Oh, you don't want to spend time with... Oh, you know what? No. That aggravation is just not even worth it. So whatever you got to do to keep a hold of and pursue your passion, do it. It's worth it. You know? The happiness that you get from being able to do something that you love that really brings life back into you. There's no price tag on that. There's none at all. So, you know, if you're in a relationship where somebody is completely squashing you and is shutting down your passion and just rejecting that part of you, if you can have a conversation with them about it, have that conversation. You know, find a way to bring it up and say, hey, you know, this is what this feels like, and this is the consequence of it. This is what's, you know, this is what I'm struggling with, and see if they'll work with you. But if they won't, and they are bound and determined that their only happiness or your only happiness is going to come from them when they breadcrumb you with little bits of compliments that are probably backhanded, no, it's not worth that. It's not. They're not worth that. I'm not saying your hobby isn't. I'm saying the relationship with them isn't worth it. Because life is too short to be sitting here denying what you love and what sparks your joy and your passion. So get out there and pursue it and find and embrace what brings you joy.